Hi everybody, my name is Liz. Welcome back. Today I would like to talk about the books that I read in February, and some of them I already talked about because I did a mid-month review, but I'm going to cover those books also in case you missed the other video. So let's jump right in. Some of these I really enjoyed. I think I actually enjoyed them all. Let's see. The first book, Accidental Magic by Iris Beaglehole. It sounds funny. Last name, sorry. I really like this book. I'll put a picture of all the books I'm going to talk about here. It's so cute. It's, I thought it was kind of funny. Not funny. It had humor into it. It's a mother-daughter relationship, and they're kind of recently, the mom is separated. I'm not sure divorced, but I'm going to say yes. The daughter is older, like high school age, so it's not like it's, so they must have been split, whatever, for a while. They're not in such a great living situation, meaning, they're poor. Then she gets a notice that her grandma died and that the grandma left her her cabin. So they have to meet this lawyer. And so they had to travel. And things were like just kind of weird the minute she got to where this lawyer was. I think there was like a fire there. And it was just like right away, it's like, what? Like, this is weird. I want to know what's going on. So that's when she finds out that she inherited this cabin. And it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. It is in a town, but when they get there, they got to walk through a bunch of stuff and whatever. But then when she's told this, the lawyer actually wants to buy the place from her. And as the story progresses in the beginning, she finds out that a lot of people want to buy this cabin from her. So that kind of put her on high alert. So then when they get there, the mother-daughter, they pull up and the cabin's kind of like falling apart. There's stuff overgrown and it's just falling apart. But then they're like, well, let's go in. So they open the door and the first floor was kind of, but then all of a sudden, it's like they turn left and that room looks great. And then that room looks great. And it just kind of starts to put itself back together in front of their eyes, like magic. So that's kind of how everything starts. And it's so cute. I'm trying to think if there's something else I don't want to wreck anything. Through this, it's not just that the grandmother died, but somebody did her grandma in. So she's trying to find out what happened. And in the meantime, the daughter is realizing she kind of has some magical power. And then a little time more goes on. And then the mom kind of has some magical power. And then past relatives show up, like having a meal in celebration of her grandma. And they find out that they kind of had some magic power. So it's cute. And it's part of a series. So I definitely want to read more of the series. So if you like witchy fun, it's humorous. It's not, like evil spirits and stuff like that. It's really cool. I highly recommend this one. Okay. The next one, Buried Magic by T.J. Green. I also enjoyed this one. This one, though, is in a small town where there's a group of friends. I'll say they're probably in their 20s, maybe 30s. They all have some type of magical power because they're all from different families that had magical power. And if you've read other witchcraft books, not witchcraft, well, maybe, they have like a book of spells called the Grimoire. So each of these families has their own book of spells that passes down, right? Apparently, someone wants to come and steal, whatever you want to say, everybody's grimoire, because then that person will be like the most magical, most power. So as this starts to happen, I think there's 4 or 5 in this group. They don't know where their books are. So there's a mystery of they got to find each family's books. First, there was some hesitation, but then they decided, okay. So they each help each other. And the first time they got together looking for one of the books, like this demon shows up, and then somebody ends up dying. And then there's a police officer that gets involved, and they're kind of afraid to tell him what they're doing. But he's like, come on, I already know you guys have magical power. Nobody really talks about it, but we all know that you guys have these powers. So work with me. However, as the book goes on, it kind of seems like this policeman's like, there's something going on. I could be totally wrong, but it just does, it feels funny, right? So after the first accident, I guess you want to call it, murder accident, this guy shows up who's from a wealthy family, and they all think this is the guy that's turning into a demon, but we don't really know yet. And it ends at a cliffhanger. So if you're going to read this book, Buried Magic, you got to kind of keep going, unless you're not into this one and you just want to say stop. But I liked it. It was a nice, easy read because there's mystery in it. So it didn't really finish the story, so I do want to read on. So I liked this one. Housemaid's Secret, Freedom McFadden. Yes, I like reading her stuff because it's very easy. It's relaxing, easy read. No real big words, nothing like that, nothing crazy. It's just a nice book with mystery, thriller, suspense in it. So this one is where there's like a housemaid, that gets hired by the husband to, yes, clean and all that type of stuff. But then she is warned, the housemaid is warned, my wife is in her bedroom upstairs, and don't knock on the door, don't talk to her, don't nothing. You leave her alone. Everything, just don't do it. Well, of course, her curiosity, right? So the housemaid actually has like a past. She also has a past. And it's not really explained what it is. So she thinks that maybe this wife is being abused because the husband said she's just really sick. She just wants to sleep. Just like, leave her alone. I want her to get better type of thing. But then one day she notices that as she's cleaning, she sees an eyeball peeking out through the keyhole. So the cover really is part of the story. And then that piques her interest. She says, ma'am, hello, can I help you? Stuff like that. And the wife like opens the door, and the maid's like, oh my God, like, are you all right? Type of thing. The story just builds from there. I don't want to go any further because there's a lot of twists and turns. It was dragging for me until about, and I even wrote this down in my review, till about page 297. Then it just like, whoa. Because first I'm like, I don't know. This is like, come on. Yeah, that's a twist. Yeah, that's a twist. But I guess I could have guessed it. But it wasn't that crazy in your face awe moment. So it went up, like a roller coaster in my interest. But then when it hit page 297, I'm like, oh yeah, that made the book. So I do recommend this. No Exit, Taylor Adams. One of you actually told me to read this, and it was on my radar. So I put it at the front of my radar because of your recommendations. And it was exactly what everyone was saying it was, where there's a big snowstorm. This girl in college is going to go see their grandma, I think it is, because she's sick and she may not make it. So she's going into a snowstorm. I don't think location really matters, but she has to pull over because it's a blizzard. It's terrible. The roads are awful. So she has to pull over to a wayside. Streets are getting shut down and all that stuff. So when she pulls in, I think there were 2 or 3 other cars there, maybe only 2. But when she pulls in, there's a van, and yes, like they say, there's like a handprint on it, but a small handprint. And she's like, okay. And then when she walks by, she swears she saw somebody peeking out, and she's like, wait a minute. So she goes in and she like peeks, and she's like, sure enough. So when she goes into this wayside, she's thinking, there's not many of us here. I don't know whose van that is because I'm the last one to arrive. And someone in this room, this wayside, is the one who has this little girl. So through the rest of the book, she's trying to figure out who the person is that kidnapped this girl. And then when I'll just give you this as a spoiler, it's not a spoiler, but when she finds out who it is, now what? Now what? Now she knows who it is, who did this. It is wonderful. I first thought, well, I don't know, it's got a little kid in it and kidnapping and hurting the kid. No, that's like the tiny little part. After that, it just blows you away. This is awesome. Definitely 5-star. Definitely 5-star. The teacher, Frida McFadden. Hold on, let me take a drink. I had a yawn too. I'm not wearing makeup today because I can't get rid of this cold. This is week 3 and this is ridiculous. So, okay. So the teacher, Frida McFadden, since I was a teacher, I wasn't too keen on wanting to read this because it's probably not good, right? But I enjoyed all the other Frida McFadden books, and my daughter kept asking me if I read it yet. And she was actually surprised that I liked it. Now, I did not enjoy the beginning where, yes, there was a student-teacher relationship, but that really did have something to do with the whole story. It's not that it was a steamy, all that type of thing, but the twists in there, because somebody did get hurt, friends or foes to friends type of situation, sneaky meeting up, backstabbing, somebody murder. It's like I'm giving you all these little things that happen in there without actually telling you what happened. In the beginning, I'm like, oh, I don't want to read this. Yeah. Teacher, student. Okay, now we have a relationship. Yuck. All right, what's happening? And then all of a sudden, somebody gets killed. And then things twist. Now I got a real murder mystery thriller story on my hands. Then it became really good. So I think, did I give it a 4? I don't think I gave it a 5. But it had such a good twist. It's either a 4 or 4.5. I think I did a 4.5. So I didn't really care for the fact that it was involving a teacher-student relationship. But the twists and the turns from like halfway, it just outweighed all that. Love Mom by Ileana Zander. This one was a buddy read with my daughter. This was really good. And I think I first gave it a 5, and now I look back, I thought, well, maybe a 4.5. Not that I didn't like it. So there was a writer, and she was married, and they had one girl. And the relationship between the mom and daughter was not the greatest. The mom, did she just die naturally, or did somebody kill her? I totally forgot. Somebody killed her? I think so. Geez, isn't that terrible? I don't remember. Anyway, and all she left her daughter was, I better figure out if somebody killed her or she just died naturally. It was an accident. Okay. Because if she was killed, murdered, that makes a different story. No, it was an accident. The mom died. And then she finds out the only thing her mom left her was enough money to go to school, to finish her college. I'm like, well, okay, I know we didn't really get along, but that kind of sucks. So the funeral comes around. The dad's kind of an alcoholic. The grandma's not a nice person. So the dynamic of the rest of the family just, it's not the greatest. It kind of like, I don't want to say it sucks, but it just kind of, ugh. So the daughter at least had a good friend who she could confide in. And it wasn't a love interest, but they're just really good friends. After the funeral, daughter goes home, and all of a sudden she finds this envelope under her door. And inside of it is a letter from her mom, and that's where the love mom comes from. From that letter, which happens almost right away. Oh, I want to yawn again. Sorry. It's like, who's writing this stuff to me? And it's like giving her, like, I love you, my daughter, and all that other type of stuff. And she's like, well, where is this woman when she was alive? But things start to, she keeps getting more letters. And she's like, well, my mom has passed away. Who is giving me these letters? And are these really from my mom? So that's where the craziness starts to come out, and she starts investigating, like, are these things that are written in these letters true? So, and there's a lot going on in here. The father being a drunk. Who's the guy that keeps popping in and causing trouble? Because there is a guy that now just keeps popping in and causing trouble. Then, there's so many things I don't want to give away. It's like twists and turns from the get-go. But I can say this, as she starts to investigate what's going on, like, this is all crazy. This is like a crazy lie. Like, what? And then I got it. That's all I can tell you. I really think you need to read this book. It is very good. I think I read it like one night. It was like, what? Keep going. What? Keep going. And you just keep going and keep going. I highly recommend this. Highly, highly. 5 star. Then I read The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. This one was a little chunky. Not terrible, but the font, the print was really little. It took me a while, maybe 4 or 5 days to read this, because I don't want to say it was boring, but it was really slow going. And I'm like, when is this going to take a turn? When is this going to, just from the title, something sinister is going to happen. So I'm like, so when is that going to happen? And when it did, it was awesome. So in the beginning, this woman is going to the gym, and there must be something wrong with this woman, because right away she sees somebody else who's obviously got money, and she just fixates on her. She's like, I'm going to take her husband and I'm going to live your life. So that was the whole goal in the beginning. And you're like, okay, when is this going to happen? When is she going to get this husband, right? Because that's where this is going. But then something happens and you're like, crazy. This is crazy and it's awesome. It's like revenge to the best. Just revenge to its height. So if you like revenge stuff, yes. And it's like, so the woman got what was coming to her, is what they would say. It goes slow in the beginning, so give it time, because then when it finally does get to the twist, yup. And what do they call it? The grass isn't always greener. That fits in this book. Revenge is sweet. Just like, what's this something about? Careful what you wish for. It all fits. We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. Hold on, I gotta close the door. My dog's gonna bark. So these two women who are partners, they buy this really old house because they think it's kind of cool, but they know it's going to take a lot of work to fix it up. One leaves for work and the other one stays behind. And all of a sudden there's a ding dong, and it's this family on her front step and says, I used to live here. Can I look at your house? And I personally have heard of people doing this more and more. Like, they want the memories. And she's at first like, no, inside of her, I don't want these people here. So she tries to use the excuse of calling her other partner and says, like, can you be my fallout, and say no, but no one answered the phone. So in the end, she's like, oh, all right, come on. You can look at the front, like the first floor. And then he's like, oh, can I really look at the second floor? We're like, we'll be real quick. Okay. All right, so thank you, bye. But this family's daughter just like decided to play hide and seek in the house. Well, this daughter has done it before. And the dad's like, well, the best way to get her is to she'll get tired of hiding, and come out. So they're waiting and waiting and waiting while the daughter comes out, but after like an hour or two. Because they started looking for her, and as they're looking for her, like weird stuff they're finding inside the house. But so the lady that's still there that owns the house, Eve, as she's looking for this daughter, she's finding like secret rooms, and she's like, where, like, there's somebody standing there, and then the person just disappears, and it's like, holy crap, like, is my house haunted type of thing. And this goes on and on and on, and then all of a sudden now there's a snowstorm and the family doesn't leave, and then this woman is like, Eve is like, I gotta get out of this house for a bit. So she goes for a walk, and she goes to a neighbor's house, and the neighbor was even a little weird and said, I think his name is Thomas, the dad of the family. Yeah, I know Thomas. He's a little odd. His sister, and she's like, I don't know any of this. They didn't really reveal a lot of this stuff. I don't know anything about the family that owned the house before, type of thing. So things start coming out, and then she's walking back, and she sees there's a guy in my backyard, and so she's chasing him, and she runs into the guy, and the guy's like, you got to get these people out of your house. And like, holy cow, so what's going on with this family? Like, are they crazy? Are they going to kill me, type of thing? And then it just continues from there. I don't know if I like this book or not. I think I actually gave it a 3. It was just too confusing. Like, I don't know who the crazy one was. Not Charlie, Eve, or the father. I think his name was Thomas. Like, or his wife, or like what was really real. I don't know. My head still hasn't wrapped around this, and it's been a while since I read this book. I don't hate it. I don't know if I love it. He's got a new book out. I think it's called The Cave. I want to read it because it's not that I really didn't like his writing. Like, I might have to read this book again and dissect it again, or I might just say, forget it. I ain't trying that book again. This is my book club book. So in 2 weeks we meet and we discuss this book, and maybe I'll understand more, and then I can decide if I really like it or not. Maybe I just didn't get it. We have those books, right? We just don't get it. Stillwater Girls by Minka Kent. I had high hopes for this. I didn't hear much about it, but I had high hopes. I kind of didn't like it. Well, it was a feel-good story in the end. There was a twist to it. It reminds me of some other story. Long time ago. It was a movie I saw, which was probably a book, where what you see really all isn't really what it is, type of thing. I don't know if I liked it. So there's this woman, a mom, who has 3 daughters, and they basically live like off the grid. No electricity, no nothing. And they live like they're in the Pilgrim days. And the mom says, my youngest daughter is really sick. I gotta take her into town. And I thought it's cold. I remember, I don't know if there was snow. Yes, there was snow. And the other 2 girls who are older, like 19 or 18, said, you guys, you know, you got food and that. I'll be back as soon as I can. I got to take this other daughter in and get help. So mom never comes back. And this guy all of a sudden shows up on their door and he won't leave. And first they're afraid. It's like they've never really seen a guy before, a man before. They're like, oh my God, is he going to rape us and all that type of stuff? Well, he doesn't. But they're scared enough that they're like, we're going to sneak off in the middle of the night. I think they actually gave him some berries that would make him pass out. And they ran away. And when they ran away, they ran into this woman who had a big, beautiful house. They're like, oh my God, look at this beautiful house. Like, that's crazy. Because the girls have no idea the outside world works. And that's one twist, I guess you could say. And this woman's like, oh, girls, are you all right? Come on in, that type of thing. And then they start investigating who these girls are. You know, I guess I did like it. I guess because then from then it was kind of, oh my, not, oh my God, just, oh my. These little twists started coming out. It turned out to be a happy ending in the end. A solid 3. Only because it's not, you know, I'm more of a thriller type of thing. 3.5. I'd be happy with 3.5. I don't know if I could be convinced with a 4 rating, but I definitely give you 3.5. There's I don't know. Suspense, thriller. There's mystery. I'll call it mystery in it. It is a feel-good at the end. That's the best I can do because I wasn't all gaga over this. And the last one I snuck in there because I had time and I found it, I had it on my Kindle. Southern Spirits by Angie Fox. It's really, really cute. It's this woman who wants to try, she's living in her grandma's house or her mom's house. Don't remember. I think it's always her grandma. And she doesn't want to lose the house, but she doesn't really have enough money to keep it. So she starts cleaning house and she picks up this vase and she's like, there's a bunch of dirt in here. And she goes and she dumps it out. Well, it turned out to be an urn and the dirt turned into having a ghost attached to it. So from then on, it's cute. So this ghost helps her talk to other ghosts and she can see things. And it's not a frightening, scary thing. They turn out to have a relationship. This, I think her name is Verity. And this ghost, I can't remember his name. I want to think it's Jonathan. They start to have a relationship. Not a relationship. They're friends. They turn out to be friends. And they banter at each other. It's cute. It's cute. And they're trying to, number one, save her house. But then a cop there that turns out that he could have been her brother-in-law, but she left her fiance at the altar. And that's the fiance's brother. So there's kind of bad blood between them. But he happens to be the cop where this house is. And funny is, he needs her help when he finds out she can talk to ghosts. Then they investigate what's going on at this, it's a brandy, it's a liquor distillery, whatever, that he owns, and he is having like poltergeist problems. So he asks this Rarity to, can you help me out since you can talk to ghosts? Can you figure out what's going on? Because I really want to fix this place up and use it like a wedding venue, you know, a party venue, that type of thing. So she says, sure, but it'll cost you, meaning, can you give me the money that I need to keep the house? He can't pay for all of it, but he does give her some money to do that. So from then on, you know, like these ghostly happenings start, and she learns the background of all these other ghosts that are like stuck at that distillery. So it's cute. If you like ghost stories, there was a TV show called Ghost Hunters or anything like that. It kind of falls into this. It's very cute. I think I gave it a 3, maybe 4. But that's the first one in a series, and I will try the second one in the series because I'm not just going to do one and done, because it's not like I didn't like it. I thought it was fun. It was really cute. Okay, so that's what I read for February. I tried not to give you any spoilers for those books. Try them even if I say I really didn't like them, because who knows? Maybe you're into that type of stuff. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm working on my March books right now. And one of them, I'm having a killer time finishing. So I'll talk about that one at the end of the month, unless I can't take it and I need to talk about it before then. But thanks for watching. Happy reading.